Okay, God, let me have it!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
I feel like I should say something smart.
I promise you, when this is over, you can cry all you want, and I won't say a word.
Hey there, welcome to the Squirrel Team 6 Airsoft Podcast Show. I decided to start doing the podcast again, and I don't really have a script for this. I'm Sparrow, by the way. Today we're going to dive into sniping. Many people have tried it. There's a lot of Airsoft YouTubers out there that have great success in doing it. Novrich, to name one. He's probably the most famous. I know some people like Kicking Mustang. I used to like House Gamers, Dayton of House Gamers, but I don't watch his videos anymore. I don't really watch Novrich's anymore either. And then Swamp Sniper. But I only watch Swamp Sniper's channel for his Revelations games. Those are really good. Survival, open world type Airsoft games. Looks like a lot of fun. So one of these years I am going to get down there and I am going to play it. So, many of you know, back earlier this spring, I purchased an SSG-24. I didn't buy a brand new one. I'm not rich. I bought one from Brownicus, one of my teammates. He upgraded to an SSG-10, and he gave me a really good deal on the 24. I figured it was a golden opportunity for me to try sniping. Primary reasons were so it was a little bit easier on my back to be out in the field till I could fully recover, which I'm almost there. But it was also to try it out and see how difficult it really was, to see if it was something I might be interested in doing more often. So the first time I took it on the field, it wasn't sighted in, I didn't have the right weight BBs, and I didn't practice with it at all. I've corrected all those situations. I borrowed a bore sight laser, and I got the scope sighted in at about 200 feet. We're going with feet. I don't even know how big a yard is. It's like 3.1 feet or something like that. I don't know, some weird thing. So I sighted it at 200 feet, thinking that would give me the best between 150 to 250 feet, which is what I was planning on engaging enemies at. I made sure I got the right size BBs. I bought .40 BBs, biodegradable. Surprisingly, for 2,500 rounds, it was like... Shit, I don't even remember what I paid for it, but it was more than $25. I want to say it's probably closer to like 30 or something. It's amazing how you can't remember stuff like that sometimes. At least, well, I can't. So with everything all set and ready to go, I went up to Big Lake on Halloween to play in the zombie games, figuring probably wouldn't use the rifle all day. So I brought extra weaponry with. I brought a pistol. I brought a Springer shotgun. I brought an MP5, which I never even used. So we got on the field, first game, we play in the trenches. So nice long distance shots for a sniper rifle. It was a little breezy that day. I think we were having gusts more towards the end of the day that were probably closer to about 25 miles an hour. Earlier in the day, they were closer to 15. So some of the shots went a little bit wild, but for the most part, we're pretty close to dead on. Having the rifle sighted in and using the proper BBs, I noticed a couple of really big differences. One, it's much easier to track the BB in the scope. I could actually see where my BBs were going. Two, it was more wind resistant. So despite having the gusty winds, I want to say about 70% of my shots were going pretty much to where I was pointing them. I want to say 150 to 200 feet, I was going to be able to hit a human-sized target by the second shot. I'm hoping this will improve the more I do sniper stuff, and certainly if there's no wind. When the game started, I immediately spotted a group of people I wanted to try shooting at. I was not successful in hitting any of them. As you can see in the video, Zombie Invasion, The Arrival, I wasn't close enough to get accurate shots on them. Not with that wind. So I moved positions and I found a couple of guys kind of down by a pine tree on the south end of the field. They were probably about 100, 125 feet away. I don't know if I hit one of them or not. There were two guys down there. And the first shot I took, I could have swore I hit one of them. But I at that distance, I couldn't really see it. And if you watch the video, you'll notice that I did point out that I had the lens cap on the scope cam. So that did me absolutely no use for the video to go back and be like, oh, yeah, I did hit him. So at this point, I have to assume it probably went right by him. He's like, oh, my God, that was a BB. Because as soon as I shot and it went towards him, they started scrambling. And it took a couple of minutes, and I spotted another guy, and I shot him. And through the scope, I saw him grab his arm because I hit him right in his left arm, and it looked like it hurt a lot. It took me a few seconds to realize that he didn't have any guns in his hands. I had just shot a zombie. But still, it was a really good shot. I mean, I watched it through the scope sail, and I lost it right before it hit his arm, but I knew I hit him as soon as he grabbed his arm. So already, the preparation I put into it, getting the proper BBs, and practicing has paid off. Fast forwarding a little bit further into the day, Brownicus and I went into the Big Pines to do a sniper versus sniper game while they were finishing up all the zombie rush games. This would have been awesome footage. Except for, again, the lens cap was still on the scope camera. I am kicking myself to this day for not taking that off, for not even realizing it was on there when I first started getting the gun ready and everything. It makes me wonder if I'm even going to keep it on there. Like, if the gun's inside of his case, I don't think I should have the lens cap on there. Because if this happens again and I miss this much footage to put out for my viewers, I just got to punch myself in the head. Actually, when I discovered it, when I got back to my truck, I was like, oh my God, the lens cap is still on. I thought about for a split second, it's like, maybe I shouldn't be recording anymore. If I can't remember to take the lens cap off, it's probably a sign that maybe I should just go out and play and enjoy the game and just talk about the games later on, like I used to do with paintball. But here's the thing. It's way cooler to have the video, in my opinion. And I love sharing my experiences with people that are willing to look at it. I'm not a super serious player. I'm not overly tactical. I make some dumb mistakes. Most of you know I can't throw a grenade to save my life. It's the exact opposite. I can throw a grenade to take my life, but very rare do I have a successful grenade throw. I get teased about it all the time, and it's cool. Tease me about it. It's true. I would have to say my biggest takeaway from doing sniper versus sniper with Brownicus and Big Pines was how to move and quickly acquire your target through the scope. Not as easy as some of the videos that you watch out there make it look. I mean, think about it when you're shooting an M4. A lot of people have red dot sights or ACOGs on their M4s. I have one on mine, but how often do I use it? Maybe 5% of the time. Usually if I'm waiting for a target to poke their head through a doorway or a window to take a shot or something, I can look through my ACOG because I sighted it in with the bore sight laser the same as I did the SSG-24. So my shots at about 150 feet, I did it with that, are a bit more accurate with the ACOG. But most of the time when someone shoots an M4 or anything of that line, they're just kind of looking down the barrel slightly and following the BBs with their eyes and adjusting accordingly. It's something that I learned to do in paintball. I use it in Airsoft a lot of the time. But it's nice to have that ACOG on there for the occasional, I think I can be precise with this. Totally different when you got the bolt action rifle because you get one shot to try to get your target. And at the same time, yeah, Brownicus had one shot at me, but he's way more practiced than I am. So we dueled it out in Big Pines. We played 6 games. He won. He got 4 kills. I only got 2. But I don't think that's that bad, being it was my second time on the field with it. I think it was pretty good. And then, not making excuses. I'm not. You know, I mean, Dave won fair and square. He knows what he's doing. He's a good shot. My goggles were fogging up a little bit towards the end there. And I had trouble tracking him a couple of times when he moved, which is another thing that Brownicus is really good at. He's very stealthy. I remember playing paintball with him when he was younger. He took out 12 enemy team members before they even realized he was there. We do plan to do this again in the future, and I will make sure that the scope cam does not have a lens cover on it so that people watching the videos can see how much fun it was and just how it went. Only I hope next time I do better and maybe I can eke a victory out of it. The rest of the day, we did attack and defend games, which is the footage you're seeing here during the backdrop of this podcast is the footage which I don't have any audio for since the camera's audio was turned off. I had the lens cap off of the scope cam, and I was getting really good footage of me shooting into the buildings from the trenches and moving positions around a little bit. But my GoPro that I have on my head died, and that was my last battery that day. So I figured I'd put the video footage to this podcast to kind of make it more interesting. What do you think? I'm really sorry that I kind of failed in this regard. You know, my second opportunity to get some really, really good footage, and I kind of goofed it up. But I'm going to learn from my mistakes and do things better next time round. So what are my plans for using a sniper rifle in the future, you may ask? Well, I will always bring the sniper rifle to the field. Unless it's one of those special events where you have to pick a specific role, in which case I'll take the rifleman role every time. It's what I do prefer. But now that I've got things figured out, I got the basics down for sniping, I would like to at least once per day when I go play, no matter where I'm at, take the sniper rifle out and get some footage with that. It's well worth the time and the effort. It is fun because it's a challenge, and, you know, I put the money into it, might as well do it, you know? So, I'm going to go ahead and end this right here. I'm Sparrow with Squirrel Team 6 Airsoft. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like what you hear, leave me some feedback as to content you'd like to hear in the podcast, and I hope to meet some of you on the field. Thanks for listening.
We have to take this abuse much longer.
At no point were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I think I got it, but just in case, tell me the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.